Sean Diddy Combs just got denied again, big time, but now he's presenting a $50 million bail package. Could he get it? Welcome to Popcorn Planet's Diddy Gag coverage. I am Andy Signore with a Monday update regarding Diddy, what's been happening. There's some big news coming in. He was denied that gag order. Remember when he was out there trying to basically silence all his accusers and lawyers and everybody, while his family members were out there doing what they did, yapping their mouths, and his lawyers out there doing that. It was just so hypocritical and also just not the way it works. You can't just silence everybody pre-trial or even potential future accusers is kind of what this thing was trying to get done. Well, that's been said. Before we get to the bail, let's just make this clear. The judge has denied the gag order. Balancing the interests at stake, the court has already taken steps to limit what can be said publicly and further requiring the government to make these requirements clear to anyone involved in this case. As this court stated in that order, it will take appropriate action for violations of the rules or this court's order. The court is open to other tailored proposals that will help ensure a fair trial. As to the mounting civil cases against Combs, there are further steps look at that stressed italicized, he can take, as it says right there, including seeking relief in particular cases if the parties or the lawyers have made prejudicial statements to the press, or moving to stay those cases pending the resolution of this one, just to give two examples. However, the unprecedented relief that Combs seeks on this motion is unwarranted. So no, you can't just silence all the accusers, all the victims, all the lawyers. It doesn't work that way. Judge denied. Now, judge made it clear, look, we're open. If we see someone blatantly break this and doing something against the rules, then come back. We'll obviously punish them. Also making it clear that all these civil cases can be stayed, meaning just pushed and waited until the criminal case is, done and over with, which is a smart move to do because you don't want to try to, the criminal case is the important one. You don't want to throw it all out. It's like the Michael Jackson case is the prime example of that, where they made him have to settle he had to face these civil cases first before the criminal trial. And that was one of Michael's biggest regrets. We're going to talk about that in the documentary I have on him. So if you don't know all the facts, stay tuned. It's going to come out next year. But he was like, look, I don't want to give up all our stuff so then they can come at me even harder and try to discredit me with this and that and that. That sort of changed the rules. And so, yeah, criminal cases usually come first. It's the important one. And then after that verdict, it can help or hurt, the defendant. And so these civil cases will, definitely be helped if Diddy's found guilty. If he's found innocent, it's not going to help them much at all. But that's really sort of how it should work. The criminal case and then the civil cases, in my opinion. So he's likely not going to do anything with these civil cases unless he wants to settle some. I don't see how he can afford that right now. But the judge saying, enough, gag order, it's not happening. And I love that he's even making it as clear as day. You have options, dude. Stop trying to play like you don't. Now, where things are getting more interesting is this now even larger bail package, citing changed circumstances, new evidence, yada, yada, yada. Here it is coming in, this massive thing. Now, it's important to know, this is the third time, and he's been denied bail 3 times since his arrest. Multiple judges citing a risk that he might tamper with witnesses. Now he's proposing this new one with his $50 million package backed by his Florida mansion. His music mogul hopes will win his release. That's interesting because his mansion isn't selling. His mansion in LA, no one wants to buy the Diddy house. Surprise, surprise. Are you guys surprised that no one wants to go to Diddy's house? The price is way too high. He's not actually going to get that much money. So it's interesting to see how this actually all is leveled out. Let's go through it. So here's what they're presenting, okay? Mr. Combs proposes an updated bail package that is far more robust than the previous proposal, as well as other bail package routinely approved by the courts. The proposal package even surpasses a bail package recently requested by the government in a comparable case in a neighboring district. The updated proposal conditions, which include home detention, strict 24 security monitoring, near total restrictions on ability to contact individuals or their counsel, will reasonably assure the appearances of Mr. Combs as required in the safety of any person and the community. Second, new evidence received in discovery from the government undermines the primary basis of which the government initially sought, and Judge Carter ordered detention. The evidence makes clear that the government's case is thin. It confirms the defense initial description of the events depicted in the 2016 video recording. The video is not evidence of coerced freak-off, but rather a minutes-long glimpse into the complex but decade-long consensual relationship between Mr. Combs and victim one. Those actions in that tape aren't consensual, Sean. Nice try. Additionally, the new evidence refutes the government's proffer at the initial hearing regarding a potential second alleged victim. And the new evidence confirms the government's obstruction and witness tampering allegations at the initial bail hearings lacked a factual basis. Third, Mr. Combs' current condition of confinement infringed his constitutional rights to participate in his defense. Given the government's unamended estimate of the amount of discovery in this case, its unique format, including voluminous video, photographic evidence, Mr. Combs' release on the proposed conditions is necessary so that he can review the discovery and prepare for trial. Despite the MDC's best efforts to facilitate the defense team's needs, the current arrangement makes trial preparation impossible, as evidenced by the recent multi-agency sweep of the facility, resulting in lockdown. The Bail Reform Act and the Constitution demand more. Accordingly, Mr. Combs moved to reopen the prior detention decision, a request release in the proposed update herein. So look, he goes in and puts some case studies, and honestly, I've always been a little bit sort of confused by this. Now, I do think he's a threat. I do. At the same time, it's like he has the right to defend himself, and it's really hard to do it in jail. Now, obviously, for us who don't like Diddy, we're all like, yay, but I'm more for due process and the rights because we got to do it the right way. And what is the evidence they're actually showing and using to prove this? That's what's up for debate. Now, you'd think the texts and things that they brought up to the judge are real. So what's Diddy talking about? Probably nothing. But if there is a version of this where the evidence that they presented wasn't actually factually correct or proper, well, that could change things. Here's now what he's requesting. He's leveled it up. Look at this. $50,000 bail, co-signed by his mother, sister, mother of his oldest daughter. All the family members are now in it too. And they're all on the hook going to be now to save his ass. Secured by equity in the Miami house, yada, yada, yada. Full home detention at his residence in Miami. You know, the house that they didn't raid. Idiot King Combs. Or suitable location, New York, with GPS monitoring. Counsel will travel to his location for any in-person meetings and have counsel meetings via video. To the extent Mr. Combs' travel is necessary to attend court or pre-approved medical appointments. See how they can get away with that? Pre-approved medical appointments. His travel will be restricted to the southern and eastern districts of New York and southern district of Florida. He must pay all or part of the cost of location monitoring, 24/7 monitoring by qualified security personnel approved by the government and pretrial services. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting because previously it was his team, you know, the team that had all those weapons and things there. I don't think they were trustworthy. He'll have no access to telephones or the internet except for during calls with counsel to be arranged by the security personnel. So now he's given up saying, you can have monitoring at my house. Just let me be at my house so I can properly do this. Restrict all visitors except for counsel, pre-approved list only consisting of specific family members with the consent of pretrial services and the government. Family visits will be scheduled only with pretrial services prior. Security personnel will monitor family visits. I mean, to be honest, if this is how it really reads, and it's like you guys can pick the security, they will be there always. They will monitor everything. That's pretty massive. Mr. Combs shall avoid all contact directly or indirectly with any person who may be a victim or witness in the investigation. Also massive. Look, you can just tell he's desperate because he knows. He has to know at this point, he's probably never getting out of jail. And this is his only opportunity to sort of have some time out of jail with his family, with his kids. That's what I guess is happening, and seeing that he's really given it all up. And the fact that he's given it all up is also not a good sign because it's like, why are we here? How did we get to this point? He will consent to provide pretrial service, random access to the residence. His passport will be surrendered. Following family members have also surrendered their passports. Here we go. Counsel will continue efforts to sell his airplane. Defendant shall submit to testing for substances if required. Yada, yada, yada. So he really is giving it all up. Must participate in a program of counseling if directed. All other standard conditions of pretrial release and the avoidance of stated, if your honor wants something more different, we can do whatever your honor thinks is necessary. So he's really like, dude, I'll do whatever it takes. I need to, and to be fair, and I don't want to give Diddy anything, but I want him to have a fair trial. I really do, because when he loses, if he loses, it's only going to be, well, you didn't even give me a chance to do this or that. And that was not just. I don't want any of that later. I want to give him the right, put him in 24 surveillance. Fine. Make him pay for it. Okay. You're going to have the prison there. Fine. We're watching you. You can't leave. If you could not contact anybody, it's over. Those are pretty good limitations, I would think. I'm curious what you think. Could a judge finally accept that? Will they accept this $50 million package that really does seem to put the restraints on to not let him get to these witnesses? I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Before you get there, though, make sure you subscribe. Hit that button. Hit the bell for all alerts. Hit all, hit the thumbs up when you get those alerts, and leave your comments down below. Appreciate you guys so much. We got more content coming for you, so stay tuned here on Popcorn Planet.